What's going down, YouTube? So yeah, I don't really post videos. Probably really just try to stay away from that. And I'm just really focusing right now on the podcast, the Redesign of Destiny podcast, which um, you can get to that through the mooresrequired.com website. Moores Required, MOREISREQUIRED.com. But yeah, I don't know. I just had like the idea, really been having the idea for a couple days to try to get on here and do a video. But like I said, that's not really my thing. Like I don't really focus on the YouTube ministry or the YouTube videos or anything like that. But um, but yeah, I just been feeling like I needed to get on here and just try to remind everybody really that it's really important to try to stay in the word as much as possible and um, just to encourage you that if you are noticing like an increase in attacks, sometimes it's not necessarily because you sinned or you fell short in some way, because we always do fall short. But just as long as we acknowledge it, and then we ask God to forgive us and really just ask God to deliver us. That's why I do a lot of proclamations. I'm like, God, you said that you will deliver me from evil. I need to be delivered in this moment. And even today, some weird stuff was going on while I was working, and I'm just like, what are my angels doing? Like, are they not working? Like, I need some help right here. And it didn't happen right away. I mean, it took a little bit of time, but the solution came. And I feel like, at least for me, um, I know this is all training. Like, I know my whole life has been training, learning, and really learning to trust God, learning to depend on God no matter how long He takes, because it seems like He always takes forever to answer prayers. I feel like it take a long time for Him to come through, and I just think for me, I give up after a while. You know what I mean? Like if I keep trying and trying and trying to do something and I'm unsuccessful, then I try to find like a different route or a different alternative or another solution. That's just like how my mind thinks. I don't want to waste too much time trying to do something that's not going to work. But so it's always like that type of process with me and the Lord. Um, I feel like my communication with the Lord, like my whole life, is it's a guessing game, and even like the closer that I get to Him, it's it still feels like that. So I mean, I'm learning like learn how the Lord is by how He dealt with people in the Bible back in the day or whatever, and I try to apply that to my situations that I'm going through. And I know like in the grand scope of things, like a lot of the stuff that I'm going through really isn't major. I mean, it seems like it for me because I'm going through it. But then, like, I try to take myself out of the situation to probably try to look at it from like God's point of view, or from a heavenly perspective. Oh wow, there go a hummingbird. I haven't seen a hummingbird in a long time. That's dope. That's dope. I would try to put the camera on it, but knowing my luck, it'll be gone. Cause he moving and grooving, and they fast. Them hummingbirds is fast. Yeah, that's cool though. But yeah. So, anyways, I want to title this openings and distractions, or distractions and openings, because right now, um, the enemy's doing everything he can to fight for our attention. We gotta remember, like, energy goes our energy flows where attention goes. So like whatever we focus on, we give power to. Whatever we think about, we start to manifest that from the thought into reality. So that's why the enemy's constantly trying to get us to focus on the things that he wants us to focus on, which are things that are sinful, which are things that are wicked, and he'll constantly put thoughts in our head. And so usually when I pray, like I don't always remember to do this. Like I do, sometimes I even forget to put on the full armor. But usually my prayers are like this. So I know it's good to like be in praise and worship to get the Holy Spirit, around you before you pray. But I usually do it backwards, which I need to correct that. I need to fix that and really go into like prayer and worship. I mean, worship and praise first before praying. But when I do pray, I just try to, thank the Lord for another day, for giving me another chance to try to correct mistakes that I messed up from yesterday or the day before, and constantly just asking Him to forgive me because I always do stupid things. Like I'm constantly doing dumb stuff, and I know it's dumb sometimes when I'm doing it, and I still do it because the emotion and the energy and the feelings, like you're just riding those waves, and it's never really good to do that. Sometimes it's hard, but one thing I'm recognizing now, as I've been working with God to overcome, the flaws, like the major areas where I was falling short. Once I was able to start correcting those and corrected them, and I was able to be victorious in defeating these um, sins that were big issues for a long time. You know what I mean? And I had to do it in baby steps. It was like one thing at a time. You know what I mean? One step at a time. But thankfully, like, I mean, God is good, but it is a partnership. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're serious, He knows that we're serious. If we're like, God, I want to stop smoking cigarettes. I want to stop smoking cigarettes. He could deliver you. Excuse me. He could deliver you and take those urges and things away from you. But that doesn't mean that the enemy isn't going to come back a half hour later trying to entice you. And it doesn't mean that God's not going to let that happen because He is testing you. So I get mad, you know what I mean? Like, man, I'm tired of being tested. I'm tired of being a lab rat. Like, what am I here for? For you guys are probably in heaven laughing. Like, I mean, I go through so many crazy thoughts in my head, and I get mad. Like, God, you created evil. It's in the Bible. You said that you created evil, and that you put us out as sheep amongst wolves. Like, why did you do this to us? And I get mad at God. You know what I mean? And I don't know if, like, a lot of believers or Christians, like, keep it 100 like that and really try to be transparent. But, and like the books that I write, and like when I do speak, which I don't really do these videos, like I said, I mean, I do them, but they're on so many different channels. So I don't have them like all on this channel. And partly that's just because I got a lot of channels, so I don't, I got to bounce around a lot because the enemy constantly working, you know what I'm saying? And when I notice like an increase in those attacks, I know usually it's after I've reached a lot of people with the gospel, like whether through the podcast or through the social media or through what I'm doing in physical reality with running around the city, posting up, flyers and promoting the gospel that way, or just talking to random people about Jesus. Like, the devil definitely try to get at me for that, for sure. And sometimes I'm chilling. Like, I had a couple good. Yesterday was a bad day. It was a real bad day. But the 2 days before that was a good day. The whole week before those 2 days was a horrible week. So I definitely feel like I take more L's than I have like victories, but it makes the victories that much better because I can really appreciate I really appreciate that rest. I really appreciate that peace that I get because it's so turbulent. It's just so much going on. And it's random. Like, you just get random demonic people that just attack you and come at you crazy. Like, I made sure to park in an area where I'm not gonna receive like a lot of distractions, and already there's distractions. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way the enemy work. You know what I mean? He really trying hard because, excuse me, because he a loser. He know he lost. You know what I'm saying? And since he know he's a loser and he know he a bum, he gotta do bum stuff. You know what I mean? He gotta do loser things, and that's what he doing. But anyways, what I'm saying is we don't really want to get, we definitely don't want to give the enemy a chance for anything. And there go a rabbit. But nah, like distractions in nature is cool. Like I welcome the distractions in nature because that's God. You know what I mean? Like nature's an animal and all that stuff. It made me think, man. For like a couple of days, I had like these bag of like cashews and pecans and like just a assortment, and I was trying to feed the squirrels, and I be seeing squirrels all the time, but when I was actually trying to feed them, I couldn't find them. And I seen this one squirrel, he was chilling in the tree, and I started playing like the squirrel sounds through the YouTube video, and then I turned on my Bluetooth so it would be even louder. And he up in the tree, he just looking at me. He like grooming himself or whatever, but he just chilling. He a little fat squirrel. And he just giving me this look like he ain't stupid. You know what I mean? And I'm like throwing the nuts on the ground and I'm trying to get his attention. And he paid me no mind. I'm just like, man, this squirrel is crazy. And it's funny because every single animal, they got their own personality, and they so funny. But that's a good way to be distracted. You know what I mean? So there's good distractions and there's bad distractions. I feel like good distractions, like you got some downtime, study a language, download the Duolingo app, try to learn something instead of like playing a video game. Try to learn a language. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like looking at random YouTube videos about, I have to use myself as an example, boxing fights, UFC fights, stuff like that we know that God doesn't like. He doesn't like violence. Nothing like bloody combat. You know what I mean? So I try to watch animals. Now you can watch a negative thing in animals where animals are attacking each other. You don't want to do that. You want to watch the nice fluffy chipmunks and the dogs that are friends with chickens and the monkeys that are friends with giraffes, and you know what I mean? Like the unlikely animal friendships. Or try to watch good things and pleasing things, because fear doesn't exist in heaven. And I feel like everybody feel like they're going to heaven. They're not living like heavenly citizens now. So we got to bring heaven on earth. You know what I mean? And focus on the heavenly things. I feel like this rabbit is like listening to me preach. What's up, homie? I want to show you him too, because he's just over there chilling or whatever. But let me just get through this. So I had cut out a lot of people out of my life. I'm always doing that. It's tough to do it because they kind of take offense to it. They get over it, obviously. You know what I'm saying? They get over it in a couple of days or whatever. It's not a big deal. They just go back to their life without you. But I haven't been yawning all day, so that's the devil too. I rebuke that in Jesus' name. But the distractions the devil is gonna use any and everybody he can. And he's not gonna stop. He don't sleep. He's constantly working. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Lord wake me up in the middle of the night, I say the prayer to try to cancel the plans and assignments of the enemy that he's plotting on me at nighttime for the next day. And when I wake up, I say a prayer, try to go back to sleep. If I wake up again, pray. Like anytime that I wake up from sleeping, I make sure I try to pray right away. You know what I mean? Like I always want to make sure that the first part of anything that I'm doing is going to God. So if I'm about to eat, that's the first time I'm eating of the day. That's a new thing that I'm doing for the day because it's the first time I'm eating that day. Make sure I pray before I eat. Regardless, I'm always going to pray before I eat. You know what I mean? Because of all the genetically modified organisms and pesticides and all the crap that they put on the food. And then not just that, but the people that are preparing your food. A lot of them is kids. Sometimes they're not kids, but they just don't care. Like I forget where I went. Oh yeah, I went into Qdoba the other day, and seen the dude digging in his nose behind the line. He was just right there digging in his nose. I walk in, he see me that I see him digging in his nose. He don't wash his hands or nothing, but he put on gloves. You know what I mean? So his boogie fingers is on the inside of the gloves. And I don't even think I was picking that wouldn't I don't think I was picking that order up for me. I think it was picking it up for someone else. But regardless, you just can't trust nobody or nothing here. Like, this place is contaminated. It's nothing but filth. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm like, man, why am I here? What did I do to deserve to be here? You know what I'm saying? And it's the rabbit. But my bad. But yeah, um, he just chilling too. I guess I could try to show y'all him. Can you see him? He just chilling. Him just chilling. But so the 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 devil is gonna do any and everything he can. He's gonna attack you while you're sleeping. I mean, it's like I feel like we in overtime after the fourth quarter right now. You know what I mean? Like, it feel like everything just is ramping up. Obviously, the birth pains are increasing. We're getting closer to the return of the Lord, to the rapture, and so that's why all these things is going on. I'm actually pleasantly surprised that although the things that bad that are happening, I feel like the Lord has removed that spirit of anger from me, because I was just on edge for so long, probably like a majority of my life. You know what I mean? And I could tell that sting isn't there. Like, I could tell it's not as strong. Like, of course, I still get mad. You know what I mean? But I'm not mad enough to where I'm like using profanity the way that I used to. Like, I would get so mad that the profanity would just come out. And then I started watching Earthquake Kelly, Kelley, and I think that Jennifer girl posted it from the Deep Believer YouTube channel. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all. The helicopter's been following me like crazy. And I usually try to get them on tape, but I'll get them right now. So you see these black helicopters? I'll drive so far out of the city of Columbus. I mean, I'll drive really far, and they still come and find me. You know what I'm saying? And that's another reminder to let me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because they definitely work for Satan. You know what I mean? These guys in the helicopters definitely work for Satan, and they track me, they stalk me. I tell people this all the time, and they don't believe me. But look, I'm all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. Make sure I drove far away to do this. Well, they blew helicopters, right? But there ain't even no helicopter pad out in this location. You know what I mean? And they'll hover real low. They'll float down real low to try to track me and intimidate me. And they'll circle, and they used to do this a lot more than the way they're doing it now. So just the fact that they're kicking up those activities, you know what I mean? And when you drive real far out the city, you're not really supposed to be seeing them. Like, the only thing you really gonna see all the way out here is the green and white helicopter, and that's for the hospitals, the medical helicopters. These blue ones, them is the police. You know what I'm saying? The blue helicopters, them is the police. You know what I'm saying? So, and trust me, if it was something like some type of criminal thing or something like that going on, you're going to hear the police sirens. You're going to see more than just one helicopter for sure. You know what I'm saying? But these ones, you know what I'm saying? They be messing with me, trying to intimidate me. You know what I mean? And it's cool, but you know how much gas they got to put in that helicopter to come this far? They got to come this far outside the city. So anyway, back to what I was talking about, because I know everybody be thinking I'm crazy with the helicopters, but I'm not. They be They be tracking the kid, you know what I'm saying? And just intimidation tactics, you know, and it's just what the devil does, period. You know what I'm saying? And it's just gonna get worse after the rapture. You know what I mean? Like they gonna be hunting Christians down. They're gonna be trying to intimidate them and their families, use their families against them to try to get them to take the mark of the beast. And that's the one thing that we got to make sure that we're promoting now is, you know, because I feel like the rapture's about to happen. Like it's not even going to be worth talking about the rapture anymore, because the rapture can happen right now, and then it's like, oh, well, we should have been talking about not taking the mark of the beast, because that's really what people need to be hearing. That's really the gospel that they're going to need to be hearing. So I just encourage everybody, you know, go get a T-shirt made, go get some vinyl decals or stickers made to put on your vehicle. Um, Design some stickers on Canva.com and print those up through like Sticker Giant or Printful.com, Printrunner.com. Design your stickers, just like whatever you got to do. It's really time to do it right now. Like we really need to get the word out, especially if you in the know. Because if you in the know and you ain't doing nothing, man, that's not gonna be good for you. It's not gonna be good for you at all. It's not. It's not enough that you know what's going on. You have to go out and start letting everybody else know what's going on too. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, that's my whole philosophy for my website, moreisrequired.com, because I'm like, some know, or I'm like, some don't know but do care. Some don't know, well, yeah, some don't know but do care, and some do know but don't care. The more you know, the more is required. Something like that. I forget what order I have it in, but I'm like, yeah, some know and don't care, and some don't know but do care. So we got to find out. We got to find those that don't know and care and share the gospel with them, because there's a lot of people that know and they just don't care. You know what I mean? Plus, we dealing with demons in the flesh. Helicopter boy, he finally dipped out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Bobby. I'll be calling him Bobby. I got that from my homie Desperado. Rest in peace, Desperado. I actually seen him in a dream about a week ago, and in the dream he's still rap. He's trying to share these raps that he wrote since he passed away. He's trying to rap them to me like, yo, check out this. You ain't heard, and he's still snapping. You know what I mean? Like he's still rapping, and he still sound dope. But it was just funny to me, cause I'm like, when I'm in the dream world, and I'm like communicating with people that are in the dream world that are not in the physical world. You know, and I know they said absent from the body is present with Christ. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm at when I'm in the dream world, but I know I could fly. I know I could do a lot of cool stuff in the dream world. I think I was even doing some like telekinetic stuff or telekinesis, where I was like calling things to me or moving things around. Um, but the number one thing that I know that I could do, and I always do that when I can remember to do it, is I like flying. I like flying. I'm always flying. I don't fly real high. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, in this reality, I'm scared of heights, and like I just get shaky or whatever. And my sister, she went skydiving. I don't know how she did that. She got some guts, because I don't know if I could do that. Like in the dream world is different, because there's just a confidence, and I know that I could fly. So the highest I think I mean, I've went so high before to where I was like in space, and it was lonely out there. You know what I'm saying? But so it's not that I haven't, but usually I try to like just fly right above the treetops, or I'll go on top of buildings and stuff like that. But that's usually the limit. You know what I mean? And I don't go real far. You know what I mean? Like I just try to stay in the general area. But definitely in the dream world, you could travel at the speed of thought. So even if you could fly, you could actually just dematerialize and rematerialize in different locations. And I feel like everybody does that, because that's just controlled by your thought. You're thinking about this, and you're like, oh, I'm thinking about being in Paris, and oh, like now you're in Paris. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, before like I really gave my life to Christ, like even though I was, baptized as a Christian or whatever, I also went to hell as a Christian. So that's why I don't believe in the once saved, always saved doctrine. I know it's a false doctrine. I know people are constantly promoting it. I just feel bad for them. Like I would literally try to go to every, like anytime I seen a YouTube video or somebody talking about that on social media, like I always felt like I had to clarify that for them. You know what I mean? And let them know that that's a false doctrine or whatever. But but I'm at a point now. It's like, man, I don't. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I know that I'm not the only one that let them know that, because you can hear how they're speaking, and they're speaking like they've already been in debates and arguments with other people about the once saved always saved doctrine, and they're like, oh well, if you could lose your salvation, that makes Jesus a liar. And I'm like, damn, man, you're saying some dangerous stuff right there, like things that I'm never ever going to call Jesus a liar. You know what I'm saying? And so for you to try to put that out there, like some reverse psychology, like, oh, if you're saying that you could lose your salvation, you're calling Jesus lying. When I'm like, well, Jesus is saying that. So by you saying that, you're saying that Jesus is saying that he's a liar, because Jesus said that he hates the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, and that was the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. Like they believed that it was okay to fornicate. And then 1 Corinthians 6:9-11 tells you fornicators will not make it into heaven. But some of you were that, but you're not practicing that now, right? Because I was a fornicator, you know, among other sinful activities that I did. But you know, once I really got the full gospel, and once I started to actually truly understand like the game plan, the rules that I'm supposed to adhere